Good day, I'm Brandon Bonhoeffer, and welcome to another edition of OnFocus. Today we have the privilege to introduce Marshfield's newest officer. Andrew Ringquest, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So you have been on the job now for 2 weeks?
Yep, that's correct.
And tell us a little bit about your background, Andrew. Where'd you come from? Where'd you grow up?
Grew up in the Arden area and went to Auburndale High School, graduated in 2010. Spent 6 years in the Marine Corps, separated, worked a few jobs before I went to college, and then applied at Marshfield, got hired here.
So you mentioned Marine Corps. I bet you that was pretty exciting. Were you stationed overseas at all, or
Yes, a lot.
any fun experiences? That's something you recommend for others that were getting out of school here?
Absolutely, 100%. Started out in Camp Pendleton, California. I did one deployment to Afghanistan with 2nd Battalion, 4th Marines. And then I applied for a position as a Marine security guard. What Marine security guards do is they work overseas at embassies. From there, I went to a school in Quantico, Virginia, and then I went to Bahrain, Saudi Arabia, Jordan, London. Came back to Quantico, Virginia for a secondary duty within the Marine Security Guard program called MSAW. It's a Marine Security Guard Augmentation Unit. It was made because of what happened in Benghazi. Went to Bujumbura, Burundi, Anatolia, Turkey, and Bishkek, Kyrgyzstan. And then I separated after a year there.
Wow, you really kind of got all over, didn't you?
Yep.
So is that kind of what led you to want to get in law enforcement, or what really triggered your thought process of getting involved in law enforcement?
Well, to be completely honest, I did want to be a law enforcement officer in high school, but I hated the thought of going to college. So that's what pushed me towards the Marine Corps overall, because it was kind of a toss-up between the military and law enforcement. And when I was separated from the Marine Corps, I still wanted to do law enforcement, but that was kind of delayed due to the college standards. So I had to finish college, and yeah, that's the route I ended up taking.
So being in the Marines, I have to imagine you gained some pretty significant skill sets. Did that help you through the academy?
I think so, yeah.
What was the academy like? I mean, for someone that isn't going to Marines, or someone that just wants to go right into law enforcement, what was that experience like?
It's like drinking from a firehouse with all the different things that you have to learn very quickly. But overall, it's honestly kind of like a normal schedule, 8 to 5 daily, a lot of scenario training, a lot of hands-on stuff, but also a lot of knowledge in class time. So, but I think the thing that surprised me the most was the amount that I had to learn in the short period of time. So that was, I guess, the challenge for me personally.
Well, growing up in Auburndale
Mm-hmm.
and getting a position here in Marshfield, I mean, you didn't really have to travel too far out. Was that part of your planning when you were looking for placement?
Absolutely. Got 3 kids, and they're all pretty ingrained in the area. We didn't want to move. We also own a house, so I'm financially tied to the area too. So, I wouldn't want to raise my kids anywhere else other than central Wisconsin. So I think that's the best area to raise children for sure.
For someone your age saying that says something. Marshfield has a very unique school system, and so do all the other school systems. You look at Spencer and Stratford and Auburndale, the whole area, we have a really good education foundation here. So obviously you got hired in Marshfield.
Mm-hmm.
You've been on a job here now. I think you said this is your 2nd week, or maybe it's your 3rd at the time. What has the first initial days been like? I have to imagine you're kind of going through a whole nother set of training. Do you have a training officer, or what's your days look like?
Right now, I'm doing a lot of admin stuff actually, and there is a decent amount of hands-on training, but a lot of it is knocking out a lot of the admin and going through the legal side of things and making sure that I understand what I can do legally in the city of Marshfield, and also, things like health insurance and, sorting out that fun stuff. It's just kind of par for the course with starting position. So
Well, when you get through all of that, where do you hope that your role will take you here at Marshfield?
um, I just kind of want to saturate the community. I kind of really want to learn everything, and be kind of a facet in town, I guess. Um, One of the things that I did in the Marine Corps, especially at the last duty station, was looking for soft targets and turning them into hard targets so that they would be safe from anyone. So that's kind of what I like to do as a police officer. Kind of look for things that could be targeted easier or very easily, and maybe make them a little bit harder to kind of mitigate someone trying to take advantage of that, if that makes any sense.
No, it makes a lot of sense. And just because we're in a smaller community doesn't mean that we don't see some of the same situations that occur in bigger cities. We just see them less frequent, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Do you see that you'll find a career here in Marshfield, or do you think that you will maybe find yourself somewhere else once your kids are through school?
No, I'm staying here.
Well, there you have it. Potential of being in the Marshfield Police Department, obviously we're a pretty diverse department. Everything from your patrol officers to having a K-9 unit, even a detective unit is here. Does any of those areas interest you down the road maybe?
I think I'd like to work in investigations as a long-term goal.
Awesome.
So that's obviously far down the road, but yeah, investigations is where I want to be at.
Well, Andrew, we'd like to welcome you to Force and welcome to Marshfield. You are no visitor to Marshfield. I imagine you've came here a lot growing up in Auburndale area.
Absolutely.
Welcome to the Force.
Thank you.
And thank you for protecting our citizens here. I'm Brandon Bona for OnFocus, and thank you for tuning in. We'll see you guys next time as we continue to follow the news and coverage that matters most to you in our community. Have a great day.